Okay, good morning. Welcome everyone, or good afternoon, depending where you are based. Welcome to Power BI for Government Community of Practice. This is our 17th meetup, which is pretty incredible. For those who haven't been with us before, we are running this via Teams webinar. I do apologize for sending everyone, if you got a double email. I did have a little bit of an issue with calendar invites going out for this meetup, so hopefully that didn't affect you. We're quite a large group. So they just ask if you want to ask your questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. If you do want to ask your question personally, just raise your hand, and when it's question time, I'll hand over to you to ask your question to our presenters. This session is being recorded. I will share it on the DataTale YouTube channel, and I will send you a link for that. Again, there's a LinkedIn group. I put all the details in the LinkedIn group as well. If you're not in there, you can join that group. I'll put the link in later. What is Power BI for Government Community of Practice? We are the community of practice. It's all about sharing user stories, what is happening in the world of Power BI, learning tips and techniques. And we just had a pretty big drop in the world of Power BI for our May update. So I will cover what is new in the world of Power BI. For those I've met before, my name is Warren Dean. I am a Power BI trainer, report developer. I specialize in Power BI for the government sector. So if you do have any Power BI requirements, please do get in touch. Just a note, in June and the start of July, I'm running all three of my Power BI training courses. So beginner Power BI training for government, Power BI Advanced, and Power BI Data Storytelling, which is how to make sure you're building a report that's answering business questions. So if you haven't been on any of these courses, love for you to join us. We've got plenty of spots available. Do shoot me an email if you would like to attend, and I can send you all the details for that. We do have another event coming up next week. I'd love for you to attend. It's all about Gen AI. So I've got Rajoy. Rajoy's a AI specialist. He does a lot of education in the AI space. If you're not on top of Gen AI and how to use it in your workspace, love for you to come along. It's an hour session. He'll be talking about prompt engineering, AI agents, Replit, heaps of interesting things, and showing you how you can use them. So if you want to come along, that's next week. I will drop links in the chat for you. And again, that's just another free 1 hour webinar next Wednesday, same time as today. So this is our session for today. So we've got Anthony and Andre from Microsoft. We've also got Tim from Murable. They're going to be sharing, Tim's going to be sharing about how he's using Power BI with CAMs. And Andre and Anthony are going to be talking about real-time analytics, which was the successful vote in the poll that we held. So you get to choose what you want to hear about, and they're going to tell us all about how you can use real-time analytics and show a little bit of a use case. As always, we've always got the free book competition. So if you're interested in business intelligence career master plan, this book tells you, it's not Power BI specific, but it's BI specific. If you want to know how to use BI in your role and moving forward, how to grow your skills in, not Power BI, this is business intelligence, feel free to drop in the link. There's a book competition, a form, so you can click on that form, put your name in, and I'll draw one lucky winner at the end of today's session. So what is new in Power BI? So if you're using 32-bit Power BI desktop, please note that it will stop in August 2025. So I hope no one's on 32-bit, but if you are, that is going to end. So just be wary of that. We now have, so the May 2025 update dropped last night, and we have translytical task flows. And so this is all about write back. So you can now add, edit, and delete data in your Power BI report, and that will go back to the database. Now, just note, you need to be using Fabric for this to work, so SQL database, Lakehouse, Warehouse. But you can do things like, add annotations to a report and get that sent back, or within the Fabric environment. So this one is out just yesterday and it is in preview. You can chat with your data. So this also came out yesterday. Haven't had a chance to play with this one yet, but it's almost like a search engine that goes on top of all your semantic models. And what you can do is you can use natural language and you can say, hey, is there a report on budget? And you can see there in the image, it's showing you different links. And you don't even have to click into the report. You can just say, show me financial budget for this year, and it'll build the chart for you. Good thing about this is it will respect all your security, row-level security. People can't see things that they are not allowed to see. So it is a standalone experience. And it will not send data outside your tenant as well. So that's another thing that's important. So again, in preview. So I haven't had a chance to play with this one, but very interesting announcement. Azure Map updates. So Azure's got quite a few updates in the last couple of months. We can now publish to the web. We now have this image is showing you auto-zoomed reference layers. You can do map styles, and I'll demo some of these. And conditional formatting is like the last thing that I'm waiting for, but we can't do that one yet. But let me just bring up my screen. So this is a Azure Map. So you can see you can do clusters. I've got the reference layers there of suburbs. I can click on clusters and jump in. If I have to zoom in a little bit more. Tooltips are working, so you could have images and click on them and view that as well. And you can see here I've got all these houses. I can now go in to my map settings, and you'll see all the different options here where I can now choose and turn off. So if I don't want buildings, for example, it's too distracting from my map, I can turn the buildings off and that'll update. So all the different layers within the map, we now have control as well. And so, yeah, it was interesting. I was talking to someone last week, now looking at building a capital works report and putting it publicly. To do something like that in Mapbox is, $60,000 license a year. You can do this with Azure Maps, no Power BI Pro license, publish to the web, and put that out and share it to the community. There's no cost in that. So Azure Maps is definitely the choice of map, and even more so because, so with Azure Maps in Power BI, you could have gone Mapbox, but you shouldn't use Mapbox anymore because it's now depreciated. There's no support. You could use ArcGIS. ArcGIS, you need either an enterprise license or individual license. You have the Bing Maps, which is not the greatest, but Azure Maps now coming in June 2025, you will be able to turn off sending data outside your region. So all the maps I mentioned aren't certified. They all send data outside of Australia for example, geocoding. But coming June 2025, you can now turn that off and data will only be processed within Australia. So that's something really good in terms of your governance. Look forward for that June 2025. Layer ordering is also coming in Azure Maps. So there's a few improvements coming. Azure Maps definitely my map of choice now. Better storytelling with data annotations. So you can see here I have a Power BI report embedded within this PowerPoint presentation. I can hover over the areas, and if I right click, where is it? Annotate. All right, it's grayed out for some reason. I'm probably not logged in, but you can see here I have done an annotation. So this is only for when you put it into PowerPoint. You can right click on a dot, and if I was logged in, I could annotate that and you can write your notes in your PowerPoint presentation. So that's a handy feature that came out last month. Slicer updates. So if I jump back over into Power BI, in terms of the new slicer updates, we can now use copy and paste. So if I just grab up Excel, and if I copy Eastern region, copy that, and you can see I haven't selected Eastern region, but I can click on the three dots and say paste. So whatever's in the clipboard will get pasted and then get selected. So if you have long long strings, you can now copy and paste from other products into your clipboard and click there and paste. And the other thing you can do with List Slicer is we can now, if we go into the slicer settings, we can do what's called restrict to leaf nodes. So if we turn that on, what that means is people can't select in a hierarchy the higher levels of the hierarchy. They can only select lower levels of the hierarchy, so the lowest leaf of the hierarchy. So that might be a useful setting, but that is there for you to use now. And the last one I've got is in terms of line charts. So you could always do conditional formatting in bars and columns. So here you can see I've got lowest red and highest green. You couldn't do that in line charts, but you can as of May. So if I go to line chart here, you can see in this particular line chart, I've selected a particular area and made it orange. Now, unfortunately, it's not conditional formatting yet. It's still hard-coded in terms of colors. So I can go in here, lines, and I can go to Q1 and make that red. So it's made that section red there. So it's all hard-coded at the moment, but what that means is conditional formatting is coming also for lines. So you can put conditional formatting, have different colors in your lines. And so that's it for the updates for the last 3 months. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hand over to Tim. Tim, if you want to share the screen, introduce yourself, and I'd love to see your presentation.
Hi, everybody. Hope you can hear me.
Yep.
Thanks, Warren. Thanks for listening to me today, and I'm just going to share about Cam's Engage with the Emerald Shire Council. Really good updates there, Warren, and as a GIS person, Azure looks pretty functional and looks like it's a good way forward, so it'd be nice. So I'm the Senior GIS Officer at Mirabel, which GIS, for people who don't know, Geographical Information Systems. So basically a map person. So not predominantly a BI person, but yeah, I've been doing map work for quite a while now. I'm Tim Orff. I've been within local government for over 25 years now, so since the late 90s when I first started. So technology and so forth's changed a lot in that time since I started. And I've been in the mapping or GIS field for about 20 years now. As part of my working life, I've done a bit of BI and analytics in different councils that I've worked at, and primarily used Power BI and early on SSRS, so SQL Server reporting services. So using Visual Studio and doing it that way, I must say Power BI is much easier to manage and handle than the old SSRS was. And I've been at Mirabel now about 7 or 8 years, so nearly up to the 10-year mark there. Mirabel Council overview. So we're situated basically between Ballarat, Geelong and Melton. So pretty busy populated centres. Melton's getting busier all the time, and obviously Geelong and Ballarat are very populated. So we're right in the middle of those. We've got farming area for a lot. We've got state forests. We've got just over 2,000 square kilometres to manage and maintain. Like I said, it's a bit of a mixture of rural and urban. So between around the Bacchus Marsh area, getting very populous now. A lot of new houses coming in very close to Melton and the train line into Melbourne as well. So we're about 40,000 population as of a couple of years ago. We've got a major freeway running through the centre of the Shire, so a lot of car traffic through the Shire, and daily train services from Ararat and Maryborough through to Melbourne as well. So a lot of transport goes through Millville between Ballarat and Melbourne, and then heading down towards Geelong. There's only one GIS staff, which is myself. I sit within the business systems team, and primarily do GIS work, but I do BI work when there's a need or when time permits for me to have a look. Of course, Power BI changes every month, so I might not get to it for a couple of months, and need to play a bit of catch up and see what's there. So probably right now I'm a little bit behind, but that's all right. Today we're going to look at CAMS Engage. So the decision a couple of years ago to make data and information about council a bit more transparent to the public. So this is a public-facing web page. It's got a couple of different sections. So CAMS internal performance reporting is basically council plan, where things are up to, what stages. I'll go to a demo later in a bit more details. So today I'm not primarily going to be in Power BI, but it's yeah, just a little bit of a different look on BI and how things, what we do. So we use the CAMS internal performance reporting and use some Power BI reports in there as well. In the last couple of years, councils created, or in conjunction with Datacom, have brought in new ERP software. So at the moment, we're out with CRMS was a couple of years ago now that it went live, and property rating, animals, debtors, infringements. So a few things like that come online last year. So we're constantly working with Datacom to implement the product and make it better. But some of the data I'm showing you today comes from there. So what I'll do, I'll go to my web browser. We'll have it just a look at here. So there is a section on the council web page to get to the CAMS Engage area. Basically, like my screenshot on the slide showed you, just that, just that away. So we've got two sections basically. So we've got council plan performance, that's the internal CAMS information based on the council plan. So public can go in here anytime and just see where council's up to with a various range of plan topics or just things council are working on. So you can basically go in there and yeah, delve into what's going on for individual areas and individual projects. So that's based within CAMS and then displayed on their website. And the other section is based on internal Power BI reports that we can manage as well. So I'll look at a couple in particular. I'm happy to leave the link in the chat so you can have a play a bit more later. So I'll look at a couple of the ERP ones that we're using at the moment. Now I've got some ArcGIS examples as well. The same sort of data. So I'll go to CRMS request first off. I'll just give you a quick look and then I'll go to sort of how I do it. So pretty much I've got an overview of the request coming into council for the last few years. So since the new system or the new ERP was turned on, so 2023. So if you know Power BI at all, you know it's all interactive, so I can do it by years. So that's how many requests have been done. I can do it by the area, so it might just be rating that we want to look at. I might want to look at just this year's rating. So I can drill down on different areas too. So it might be rating, but I want to see how many land information certificates were done and so forth as well. So I can look at those and copy a rate notice and so forth. So I can drill down on each individual area, and you can see the word clouds changing as I go along too. So for all of council, you've got your normal things would be what do they say? Roads, rates, and rubbish. So waste rates, inquiries, request, maintenance, and so forth. But if we go into the individual areas, the word cloud just makes it a little bit easier. Acquisitions and property changes and dispositions is the same thing, but there's addresses and notices and so forth. But the word cloud's really handy just to get to an easier way of looking at, or different way of looking at things. And then each one is set on how many on each day of the week, and then time and so forth as well. So so we just look at all of the SR requests that come in and just create a visual overview for council on how we're doing. So I can say in 2023, it took 25 average days to complete but in 2025 it's got a lot better. So it's only 9 now, and you can see where the requests are coming from. Antenno is brand new, so it's kind of like Snaps and Solve, if you like, but people sign up for Antenno within council, and then you can get requests or notifications of when your bin goes out, and you can put requests in to get things fixed and all sorts of things, and that integrates back in our CRMS system as well. So Antenno's only new, but there's been a bit of an uptake for that, which has been really good. It's only just been released. So another one we use out of that same system, but just a different area, is waste stats. So pretty much this is collections per week, if you like. So there's 40,000 compulsory pickups per week. Total pickups, and then it's broken down into compulsory and non-compulsory. And I can click on each of these or hover and just see where the top localities are. And if I just want to look at what localities have got green waste and how many there are, I can do that as well. You can see the map changing based on where they are as well. And then there's a bit of a number list there as well. So it's just using data out of the ERP that we've got, and I'm just displaying it in different ways. So I might just want to look at a particular locality. I can use the map to do that as well. So I think we've got some hovers over here too, so I can see what are the latest, or how many of green waste have been applied for, and green waste services have been applied for and implemented in the last 30 days, and see where the highest localities are and things like that. So yeah, so it's just a bit of an overview of different services within council. But I'll leave the link, and you can definitely have a look at that. So basically, out of our ERP, this is just a generic list of our SRs out of the CRMS. What I do is I'm able to create a custom API, essentially. So I can add all these columns, I can put in filters, I can do other things, and then I've got an API endpoint for the Power BI report to hit. So this is all the SRs ones. Here's all the columns. So there's basically a custom API sitting in the background running it all. So pretty much I've got to just create a custom API and then see what fields I need, and then Power BI hits that natively with a couple of permissions, and then I can start building a report, and then you can update regularly as much as we like. Like I said, I'm not going to just look at Power BI, so that's a bit of an overview of what we're doing. A new system with the APIs that we can create. We can create whatever we need there. I'm using the same data, so using this API. I've used ArcGIS dashboard, so it's a little bit different to Power BI. We've got ArcGIS Online on site, so we can use all of the Esri features, if you like, as well. But this is just an example of using that same data to help the works team to see what's outstanding in the Shire. So if I click on all the paths that need fixing, they can see where they are. So you do a similar thing in Power BI, but because we've got ArcGIS Online, we just use that as the platform for that service, and this just updates regularly. So the works guys can just manage what's out there and what's outstanding at the moment, and how many items have come in the last few months that are still outstanding. So this is just all outstanding stuff, just so they can manage what they're doing. And another one we've done as well is a capital improvement program dashboard within ArcGIS as well. So I can click on where are the road projects, and they're listed, and dates and monetary values and so forth. And this is all available to the public as well. So just a couple of just different examples of what we can do with the data that we're producing internally, and different BI methods, I suppose. And happy to take any questions. I know it's a really quick overview, but I'm happy to share the link, and you can have a look and play, and reach out to me if you've got any other questions after the meeting.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. Yeah, if anyone has any questions, feel free to jump it in the chat. We have one from Noman. He wants to know, in the free text that you showed before in the Power BI.
Mhm.
Oh, sorry. Is it free text or is it a fixed list of responses for your word cloud?
Oh, what you can do with word cloud? So it's an add-in, but it's a out of the product add-in, so it's an additional add-in. So it's called word cloud. But what you can do in there, it looks at a data set, so it's looking at a category or some sort of list, if you like. It could be anything, and you can tell word cloud not to use particular words. So like and I and as and from and to, the words that you hear all the time. So you could have verbatim text as a field within that word cloud, but you'd have to start getting rid of those smaller words. So words that are commonly used like that and so forth to not show up in the cloud. But if you've got categories, for example, yeah, it'll just use those categories without having to eliminate the gap words, if you like.
No worries. Any other questions? No? I'll quickly show you the word cloud in terms of how to use it. So what Tim was mentioning there, so to get your custom visuals, get more visuals in here. Word cloud, making sure, again, if you're not sure what that blue tick is, that just means it's a certified visual. It's not going to send data outside of your organization. Something to be careful. Obviously, if you work in government, you want to make sure that the blue tick is there for any of the custom visuals that you choose. Otherwise, it might be sending data outside of your organization. So I've got the word cloud. I don't have sentences of words, but we do have here the stop word. So this is what Tim was talking about. You can turn that on. And if there's even a word in there that isn't really a stop word, but let's say I wanted to get rid of mount, you can add in additional words that you don't want to be shown in your word cloud. So that is a free visual. That is an option for you. Excellent. All right. Don't think there's any other questions, but if you want to add any questions, you can chuck them in. We can answer them later. Andre, if you're there, I might hand over to you.
Yeah, hi. Warren, hello everyone. I'm just gonna turn on my camera, see if you can see me.
Yep.
Okay. Thanks, Tim, for showing that. It was really nice, very cool.
Thank you.
We learned a lot from what you do there in councils. Maybe just start with introduction. My name's Andre. I'm a technical specialist for Microsoft. I work in the data and AI space, and I'm grateful today to be invited to talk in this amazing webinar. Maybe Anthony, if you're there, are you free to jump in to quickly introduce yourself?
Yeah, thanks, Andre. Anthony Huang. Let me turn on my camera. Yeah, I'm the Azure specialist, looking after the council space. So always grateful for Warren having me here, and would love to meet the council and to understand the priorities and industry trends and insights, and a good opportunity for learning. Thanks, Andre.
Yeah, thanks, Anthony. Can everyone actually see me? I'm actually
Now I
losing my
can.
screen.
Before you
can.
didn't, yeah, but now I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No worries. That's great. So, Warren, I'm just going to start, if that's okay with everyone, that what we would do with PowerPoint, just to visualize what we do. Just going to share my screen with audio. Present in Teams. Okay, so today, don't be afraid that that says 63 pages there, but we'll go through a very small amount of it. Just stuff that I just hidden away, but I just didn't delete quite yet. So thank you everyone for joining us today. Always grateful for your time, and again, Warren, so good to be here. It's a really great learning experience as well. The purpose of today, of me being here, is to share what we know, and please feel free to ask any questions that you have. So what we'll talk about today would be real-time intelligence from Microsoft Fabric. We'll go through a little bit of introduction. We'll go straight into architecture and key features. We'll talk a little bit about use cases and some demo. Anthony will interrupt at some point if there's any information that he wants to share with us, but hopefully be able to also cover for us the how to get started as well, and we'll follow up with conclusion. Hopefully I can do this within 15 to 20 minutes, but if you do have a question, please do share on the chat or put your hand up and raise your question. Okay, so I just want to share this real quick screen just to showcase a little bit of what Copilot can do. Just a little image. Typically, what real-time intelligence will help you solve is to digest all this data, real-time data from everywhere, internal and external. So this image sort of depicts what I wanted to show today around, a command center. You got a lot of data coming in from everywhere, but I also share in there the prompt that I use in Copilot to produce this image. Essentially, a lot of operators will have to deal with, as you said, waste management, probably pet management and council requests from residents. That will probably comes in at the same time, hundreds and hundreds of data points and potentially thousands, and you have to correlate and make decisions more often than not as real time as possible to get that competitive advantage. Now, the average company, as I said, has average of hundreds, if not thousands, of data sources. So this could be your social media, telemetric sensors, and whatnot. I think I'm hearing some of the council we spoke to have discussed the requirement to monitor spaces within electric vehicle charging spots as well, and that could be tied in with your light post or whatever not it is that you want to relate to. Perhaps you want to relate it to what season it is, holiday season, etc. But essentially, there's all these points and data points that you can connect to, regardless of what industry you're in. And all this real-time data becoming more and more demanded to provide more, on-time, in-time, real-time sort of decision-making opportunities. So leveraging real-time intelligence can help you accelerate your speed and precision of business. What we've seen is that it helps some organization increasing their operational efficiency, gives you your end-to-end visibility because the data that you can see pretty much real-time, and also competitive advantage around, probably in a way an advantage above your customers because, there are things that sometimes our constituents may see before we do, and the quicker we respond to it, potentially the better it is the outcome for everyone in the community. Okay, so just quickly sharing some of the use cases across industry that we see. This is just not the government, but I think every government would have an element of these as well, including finances and insurance. But where we've seen a ramp up on things like connected fleet applications, autonomous driving, manufacturing R&D, finance automation is really something that we see a lot. I mentioned around EV monitoring there as well. Within our professional services industry and the healthcare industry, are also seeing we're also seeing a lot of these demands of wanting to get data and an opportunity to be actually solve learning from data and execute positive actions out of it to give you that competitive advantage. So again, real-time analytics is part of Microsoft Fabric. So essentially what it does, for those who haven't heard of Microsoft Fabric yet, is it's a unified data platform. It helps you unify your analytics and a complete governed data platform. We've got what we call one lake, and I'll sort of get into that a little bit more before I get to the demo, just very high level, so that it reduces your data copies, but at the same time gives you the ability to give you that foundation of correct data security and governance. There's lots of capability, low code, no code, that gives you the empowerment for all users, including Copilot. I think you've seen a bit of a demo there, Chat to Your Own Data, earlier by Warren, on how to potentially do your conceptual Power BI reporting, perhaps. And again, it does fuel your AI innovation, whatever that might be, depending on your needs. We've seen many conversations. We have had many conversations with different customers. There's never been two that's alike. So your case are generally quite unique to its own. So very quickly, Microsoft Fabric, it basically a SaaS. It combines Power BI, Synapse, Data Factory, and we call that Microsoft Fabric, and we create a single unified software as a service platform with 7 core workload. So from left to right there, you've got your Data Factory, engineering, warehouse, science, real-time intelligence, what we talk about today, Power BI that you already familiarly and warmly understand, and other industry solutions. All these are encompassed through by Copilot, OneLake, which is our foundation of the data platform for the analytics solution, and Microsoft Purview for your data security, governance, and compliance. So all these are one single SaaS platform that you just consume quite simply. Don't have to use all different services separately, and you can just do all that through this. Data Factory, if you don't already know, gives you ability to connect to data sources. There's above more than 150 data sources connectors available. Those that you don't have can use API using Spark Notebook through data engineering. Gives you that instant start with live pools, ability to collaborate using Python, R, or PySpark, and some other languages as well. Data warehouse is where you get to provide a converged, sort of like Lakehouse and data warehouse experience with sort of SQL performance on an open data format sitting in OneLake itself. We got then the data science, which gives you that machine learning, AI capability, some models, AI models that you can use and help you collaborate with different parts of the business. And last but not least, Power BI, as you already know. Again, all this gives you access to Copilot itself, where you can chat and talk to your own data and even potentially correct or help you assist in developing your codes. Where we'll spend some more time today will be real-time intelligence in Microsoft Fabric. Essentially, it's within Microsoft Fabric. What real-time intelligence does is a central place for your streaming data. You get to ingest data from many sources, so that's easily discoverable and easy to consume from anywhere in your organization or externally. So we've got what we call a real-time hub here, which I'll show in a second, which acts as a single event catalog for all your data in motion. So that means you can harness that power, that time-oriented data as quickly and as efficiently as possible as it flows into your system. We'll get to a little bit more details around other stack and other services within real-time intelligence, but ultimately where they're all sitting is where we spoke about before within OneLake. So we'll go through some use cases in a second as well. So what real-time intelligence is, it's a complete SaaS solution. It's a single place for data in motion. Gives you the opportunity to develop a rapid solution because it's low code. You can do deep coding as well, but a lot of this can be point and click and drag and drop, and follow the instructions as well. So gives you that sort of like quicker opportunity to turn around your modeling as well. And more importantly, that's something that we see a lot as getting picked up as an interest, real-time insights using AI as well. So you can use AI to talk to your data itself. Quick sizzle video before we get to the demo.
Introducing real-time intelligence.
Can everyone hear that?
Yep, we can hear it.
Yep, good. I think I'm hearing an echo. Warren, you might have to go on mute if that's okay. Yep,
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks for confirming. Okay, so just a bit of an overview there, what it does very quickly. Now, in terms of architecturally, real-time intelligence itself brings in data from multiple different data sources I mentioned earlier. So it could be Cosmos, SQL, Kafka, even Google PubSub, which was sort of a bit harder to sort of bring in prior to real-time intelligence. You get to basically ingest and process and analyze using what we call event stream here, all sitting within the event house. You can do your queries using KQL, which I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with. And then you can actually look at data in real time using real-time dashboard. And if you do have something that you want to play or create an alert for, whether it's email, SMS, or even Teams messages, you can do that using Activator. That can all be reported using Power BI, all sitting in this what we call real-time hub, but with the foundation of the data within one lake. Now I repeat this one lake a lot because it is really key component of this solution. This one lake data can also then work with your ERP data as well. You can ingest data into one lake as you would with Fabric, and then actually correlate those data together to help you give that more accurate decision making and hopefully accelerate time to your insights. Some might be asking the questions about if you're already using real time, how does it compare with the existing Azure PaaS-based solution architecture? So you've got all the multiple different solutions separately connecting to each other, like Event Hub. You got the ingestions there through Event Grid. All eventually go into Power BI, and you have to create your separate reporting. Real-time reporting for it. Whereas where Fabric comes in with real-time, it's all a single unified solution that's already been integrated for you through what I mentioned earlier, through Event Stream, Real-Time Hub, and Real-Time Dashboard, and the Activator itself. So essentially, it gives you that easier access and easier and much more rapid opportunity to deploy the solution. So in summary, this is the combination of what we have prior to make it what it is today, being real-time intelligence. All the enterprise-grade data platform with the reporting capability and gives you that real-time intelligence. I just want to quickly bring this video up because this is brought up and built this morning, and I think this should be quite relevant to a lot of us. It's called digital twins. We won't go into the digital twins too much today, but I'll share more details through the next slide. And just to quickly share there's the link I'm sharing as well for Microsoft Build to 2025. That made some announcement this morning. Some could be relevant to your needs, which you could potentially be waiting for as well. Warren, sorry to interrupt here. I think I'm going to go a little bit over than planned, if that's okay with you. I think I've just gone over my 20 minutes. Yeah,
we still got 10 minutes, so you can take all that time.
Okay, good. So we'll go through some quick use cases of what the potentials would be. Thank you, Warren. So with real-time intelligence, some of one that could be relevant here around fleet management, perhaps. You can have telemetry messages coming from your fleets encoded in typical formats, maybe JSON, that will come into event stream here. It'll sit within one lake. One lake have what we call event house to keep all your real-time analytics data. Because it sits within a KQL database, it event stream decodes, it validates, it transforms, and enriches that raw data to however it is that you want to visualize it. Now it's available for query, directly sitting within that one lake. Now, this is where things happen more interestingly. You can then enable Data Activator, you can have your report, and essentially have a report with Power BI. Pretty straightforward, I think. This is more of the advanced sort of view of different use cases. This is factory. However, they've got data coming from IoT hubs or IT operations. Same thing, going to event stream. This bottom here is your ERP data that you can actually correlate with. It's still going into one lake, accessible by event house. You can run your machine learning model with the data science if that's something that you need to do, depending on what it is, detection of failure or some sort, or potentially doing some analysis of maybe some events that happens within your council that regularly happens every year that you want to monitor how many attendance you're going to sort of plan for, perhaps. So you can sort of correlate all that data with your ERPs or your finance system. Again, similarly, we will then help through the platform to visualize that with Power BI and also real-time dashboard and execute action using the actual activator itself. Now, I'll just quickly go to a demo. I will stop this sharing. I'll share my screen instead. So I will be sharing my window, which is this one. Okay. All right. So within Microsoft Fabric, I'm going to move this here so that I can see better. Okay, so this is what we call Microsoft Fabric. You go to fabric.microsoft.com, you'll then get to the homepage as you would here. There's things you can do there, you can learn tutorials, but just for today's purpose, I'll go straight into my demo. One of the things that you need to do first when you log on to Fabric, if you haven't, is to create a workspace. So you go Workspaces, create a new workspace. You then name it, give it a description that you see that you want to describe it as. You can, if you don't have premium capacity, you can choose either of these, trial, etc., just to get you started, basically. But once you do have that, I'm going to go and show you what Real-Time Hub looks like. I do have two separate demo platforms, but I'll show you this part first because some of my data didn't come in time overnight. So this is the Real-Time Hub that I mentioned earlier in the slides. This is basically the place where you can list all your data streams or your data sources. Let me help bring up my narrative just 1 second as well. Okay, so within event within Real-Time Hub, you sort of get a control panel for all the streaming data in Fabric. It's basically a catalog and management interface for your data in motion, similar to how OneLake is for data platform. You can see the names here, you can see the owner, you can see the item, the workspace. You can even certify it accordingly. If you're familiar with sensitivity labeling, you can see what these items are currently labeled as what is confidential or not, while adhering to that low level security that Warren might have mentioned earlier. I will then show you what the next things are around Event House. So I've gone to my workspace. In this case, I already have an Event House, but you can create an Event House as such. You go in there, you click it, you give it a name, and you'll get an Event House, which is basically a mirrored data for your real-time data to your OneLake. Above here is what we call task flow. This is available to give you that visualization of how you're going to work with your data. In this case, you get data, you mirror it with something within OneLake, you store it, analyze, train, develop it, or then you can prepare, visualize, track it, and eventually distribute it. I didn't attach any of these yet, but you can then go this way and actually attach the work that you want to do with it, just to help you visualize that. Now, with the Event House, basically it's a system overview. It gives you the ability to see your event data. It gives you the storage, resources, the activity that this data is doing. You can see the databases that this Event House is connected, that's available within this Event House, I should say. You can go through the monitoring as well, which I don't think I had time to enable overnight. And it gives you access to actually have a look at the data itself within the Event House. Here, you can do things like real-time dashboard. You can do query, KQL query set. I want to show how you can actually query this with code and eventually show you that KQL and then report it down the bottom there. Where this also becomes really cool is if I go back here within the Event House, we can actually see that live view. We can pause it anytime. You can actually add any databases that you want to it. And then when you want to start working with that data, I'm going back to my workspace. I'll show you quickly what an example of what event stream would look like. I'm going to choose this Contoso event stream. And what this is doing is basically gives you that view of how your stream looks like. So in my case, I have an Azure Event Hub where my data sources are coming in. I've created that event stream and I did multiple different averaging or filtering based on that data. For average temperature, I wanted to be able to filter it based on the average temperature, etc., and filter based on different tables as well. So this actually gives me the opportunity to give some the data that I want to view. Like for example, if I chose that, there's nothing there, but maybe if I choose this one, gives me all the details about what I'm actually filtering based on. If I go back into my workspace, I could then also go into my dashboard. This is my real-time dashboard that I have been able to create based on the data, the events that's streaming through. In this case, I'm looking for anomalies for a particular sensor, and it shows me all that details as well. Based on the data it received, it can give me temperature trends within 15 minutes interval, and this is essentially real time as it is trying to update. One of the things I also want to share is that you can also do what we call activator. Essentially what it does is it's I'm going to go back here. There's this one called Contoso Reflex. What the activator would do is to give you an alert should something happens that you want to be told about. So in this case, I have an average temperature rules. It will then we will have the option to select what it is to alert on, and it can send me a Teams message. If I want to, I can send me a test alert just to make sure that's working. I don't know if I can show you this because I'm showing my screen, but what it will then essentially show within your Teams is an alert showing that that particular signal have reached a threshold. Just quickly pausing there because I am on time, Warren.
Yep.
I can continue maybe for a little bit more before I drop off or let everyone drop off. But I pause here quickly for anyone to ask question before they go, if they have to go.
Yep. Yeah, and just to note, we are recording the session, so if you do need to hop off, that's not a problem. Andre will keep going, and I'll make sure I'll send you a link with the recording if you need to head off.
Cool. Okay, so just for the purpose of continuing this on time, I won't start with my Teams because it'll just show me an alert anyway. Although I could probably just quickly show you what that looks like on your Teams alert. Okay, I'm just going to swap screen quickly. Stop sharing. I'll share my got lots of window here. I'm going to share my Teams now. As you can see, let me just share my window. Sorry. Okay. So as you can see, when I send that sample alert, this is within Microsoft Teams. An activator trigger happened today, earlier at 12:27. Oh, sorry, 2:12 UTC. Let me just try to quickly run that again. So if I do Send me a test alert. That should pop up in here. Ish soon. It didn't. I'll skip that, Warren.
No, that's right. We're going to say it worked when you tested it. That's right.
Yeah. Okay, so continuing back into the presentation, I'm just going to pause for any questions while I prepare that presentation again. Presenting Teams. Okay, thanks for that. Thanks for those staying. Quickly jump on to where we left to that before. So for our case, some use cases that could be relevant: EV charging monitoring, energy demand forecasting. I'm not sure how much data you get within the industry or within the local government or government itself. Predictive maintenance, depending on what you do, your recycling plant perhaps may need information such as predictive maintenance and when you actually need to proactively do actions or take actions. And that's pretty much the end of it. If you don't already have Fabric, this is where you can get information on how to get started. You can try that link around real-time intelligence to learn more about it. What I would highly recommend is to watch that Build 2025 sessions today. This morning, that's still going for the next couple of days around additional development in the industries. That's really it, Warren. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Any questions?
Any questions? Yeah, Andre, can you share that slide, or can you share the links? You can share the slide. All right.
Yeah.
I will share that slide, and that's got all those links at the end for you, so you can have a go watching the build sessions or clicking on some of those Microsoft resources. So thank you. Just for the sake of time, not a problem, Andre. That was good. Thank you. It's good to see that all sitting and writing that all together for us, and it's something we got a lot out of. But I think I better just wrap up, just because we've gone 5 minutes over. So I'll just quickly share my screen. The book winner, congratulations, Heidi. Heidi, if you want to shoot me an email, and I will get the book BI Career Master Plan out to you. So congratulations. And otherwise, that's it for the session. So again, if you want to come along to one of the trainings I'm holding next month, just reach out. Happy to support you. If you've got any questions for Microsoft, let me know. I'll send you all those links. This is recorded, so I will send you the recording as well. But otherwise, hope you enjoyed your break in the session, and we'll see you next time at Power BI for Government Community of Practice. So thanks, everyone. Great to see you again. I'll catch you next time.